All right, my friends, I just want to say hang in there. I'm going to share with you an email from a man, we'll call him Stevie. All right, Stevie Nicks. Stevie Nicks, but it's a dude. Maybe he's not really a dude. Stevie Nicks, is she really a dude? Does she go by man or woman, or is she pansexual? Who knows anymore? Who knows? Who might have judged? I got hit with a pretty big invoice today on some mulch, and normally I do the mulching. This year we hired out, and the mulching, the pine straw stuff. And it came back hard. It was expensive, no other way around it. We had 120 bales of pine straw and just some mulch too. And I was like, oh. And normally I do it myself, and and it frustrates me. It frustrates me. And on top of that, we got hit. We got to get a garage door opener because we've had this house for 11 years now, and the garage door it breaks, and that's another $1,100 to fix that. And so we got hit with about $4,000 of unexpected bills, and I was like, man, it's always like one step forward, two steps back, one step forward, two steps back, and it's been like that my whole life, man. And I'm like, I just would once like to be, I just for once would like to be two steps forward and one step back. You know what I'm saying? But then I get this email from Stevie Nicks, and here's my man. He and his wife just crushers. They sold the business and they moved down south where it's a little bit more God-fearing and constitutionalist and lower property tax. They got no mortgage, no credit cards, no car payments. College bills are all done. They're invested in index funds. Mostly they got their personal savings, mostly T-bills and CDs. But they've moved a bunch. They put 2 kids through college. They ran a small business for 20 years. And now they're at I don't want to say the top of the mountain, because we're never at the top of the mountain. They're a little bit older than me, not much. I'm 52. I'm yelling it, not yelling that. No, we're not playing that game. Come here, Kubakai. Come here, Kubakai. No, he like, let me out, Dad. Anyway, so he says, you are partially, your old buddy Josh, responsible for giving me the confidence to take the plunge and retire when he did. We are so much more relaxed now and feel like a huge burden has been lifted. We thank Lord Jesus every day for his blessings and are grateful for everything. We've worked very hard and now are looking forward to just enjoying the little things in life and doing whatever we feel on a given day. I know you're a busy guy and you got a lot of stuff with your channels and stuff. Sometime in the future, I'd love to be able to have a few minutes to chat with you and talk about life. I admire what you're doing and only hope and pray that many, many people heed your advice to listen to the words of wisdom, the economy, family, and life in general. Listen to the words of God, dude. I mean, that's one. I appreciate all that, Stevie Nicks. It's I'm. I mean, listen to me. It's fine. The only reason I say this guy got freaking since 1998, 25 years of experience of doing this crap, and I've seen things that go right and I've seen things go wrong. And there's always one thing that goes right. And there's always one thing that go wrong. The one things that go wrong is people buy cars every couple of years. The one thing that goes right is people pay off their debts. But don't listen to me in terms of, I have no, I'm just like, dude, at the end of the day, I read my good book, as you should too, not my man, Stevie P does, but good book. This is an NIV, and I'm Catholic. How dare I read an NIV? How dare I don't read the KJV, the Catholic Bible, or the Amplified Bible? All right, whatever. I say my prayers, and I contemplate, and that's where I think the Holy Spirit pierces me. But anyway, I share a story, and I've shared this before on this channel, and I don't care, I'll share it again. We had just moved to Virginia, and we moved from Phoenix. We didn't have a freaking pot to pee in, my wife and I. We just had Chloe, and she had, so it's our second child. Chloe had just gotten out of, no, it was before we had Chloe. Yeah, so it was me, Shara, and Maddie. That's right. And I think we're renting a crappy house in Dayton, Virginia. We didn't have any money, dude. Broke as a freaking skunk. Our skunk's broke, I don't know. And, we just lived in, we were living in that crappy apartment. It was not an apartment, it was a house that we were renting. I just felt overwhelmed. I wasn't providing. And Charlotte was, working part-time as a bank teller, raising Maddie. We didn't have any money. We had one car we're sharing, and it friggin' sucked. It sucked. And we've never needed to be living large, but it's like, I was making like $32,000 as a platform banker. And that was pretty good at it, but it wasn't great. I wasn't, making, like a guy next to me, this guy Tony, Gay Tony, he was making money left and right because he's selling all kinds of stuff. He just had a good sales approach, and people liked him. Gay Tony, gay as the day is long, but he's a good guy. But he liked the finer things in life, and he liked to sell because that gave him the chance to make money. And he was good at it. No other way around that. Even though we lived in a very conservative part of Virginia, people like Tony, man. And who knows what happened to him, but it's just funny, man. Gay as the day is long. And I had no problem with that, whatever. That's just as funny because you see these conservative people coming, these Mennonites, and he'd walk out and they love Tony. And oh, man, life is great. I love it. I got stuff in my teeth. I just got done eating some ribs. I look like, all right. Anyway, so I'll never forget. I had these people, the Armentrouts. Armentrout's a big Mennonite name, Germans, because Mennonites are Anabaptists. The Germans came over here to flee, from the Martin Luthers of the world and whatnot, and of course the Catholics, and they came here to practice their faith in peace. Anabaptist. I'm not sure the Mennonites fall under the Trinity category. I don't think they do. They don't celebrate Christmas and whatnot. Actually, I'm more Mennonite now than I would have ever thought ever in terms of the Trinity, Christmas celebrations, all that. I do think there's a lot to be said about the Mennonites. I'm not all that familiar with the Amish, but Mennonites I'm somewhat familiar with. And I have a lot of respect, if not, but they freaking crush. There's no way around it, man. Anyway, so point being is the Armentrouts. They came to my office, and these weren't practicing Mennonites. They were, modern Mennonites, if you will. But they came to my office, so they didn't have a horse and buggy. They had a pickup truck. And they had like $350,000 in his 401k. He just rolled over from his 401k to his IRA. He is 55 years old, and they lived in a nicer part of town. And I was back then 30, 31, 32 years old or something like that. And I just got to talk to him. He and his wife, just great people. I don't think they remember me from Adam, but I can't remember what their first names were. I just don't recall. But whatever. It's just the Armentrouts. I don't remember what the first name was. This was 20 odd years ago. And I'll never forget, they both said to me, because I guess I was telling them, I think Charlotte was pregnant at this point. I was just nervous, like, I don't know how we're going to make ends meet. I can't remember what we're talking about. And they said, Josh, just hang in there. You'll be surprised. The future, it feels like you're taking one step forward and two steps back. You're really not, unless you're piling on debt. But sooner or later, you're going to wake up and they're 55 or something like that, and they had no debt, house paid off, $350,000 in their 401k, IRA, and that was back 20 years ago. And this is, in the midst of 2001 carnage, and then going into 2002. And he says, you're just going to wake up one day and all the kids are out of the house and your bills are just dropped. And you're like, huh. And he says, just hang in. And I wasn't despondent. It was just stress. I was like, man. And I'll never forget that. And I'll never forget him saying that to me. It was him and his wife. And they're both saying it. They said, yeah, it's like we were stressed. We know exactly what you're going through. Then you wake up one day, your kids are at the house, and the costs just go way down. And you're like, oh, we got this now. That's what my man Stevie Nicks is saying here. After he's singing, Stevie Nicks sang in that horrible band Fleetwood Mac. Oh, right? Was it Heart? Did Stevie Nicks sing in Heart? Barracuda. That wasn't Stevie Nicks. Stevie Nicks was Fleetwood Mac, right? Whatever that stupid band was. Oh, horrible. Ah. Or was that Jefferson Airplane? They're all the same. Stevie Nicks, Fleetwood Mac, Jefferson Airplane, and whatever the band I just said initially. Heart. Oh. Anyway, just hang in there, man. Because it does feel it can be stressful. I'm 52. My youngest is going to be a sophomore in high school. We don't have that much more ahead of us with him. You know what I'm saying? And we're not going to spend $3,000 next year on this freaking landscape and stuff. I'll tell you that right now. Hell no. Crazy how much we spend on that. Nuts. But we have a big yard. We got a big house, and next year I don't know why I didn't think about it, but I didn't want to do it this year. You know what I'm saying? I said, I just don't want to do it. Because it sucks. You got to take your vehicle. I take my freaking, my 2013 Toyota Highlander. You take up the Lowe's. You take up the freaking Walmart. They got a big, semi box that you go in there and you take up the pine straw and you put in your truck and you load it up. And I've done that 1,000 times a Sunday. The mulch I'll have delivered in bulk and it's sitting in the driveway. Take a shovel, shovel it into my freaking wheelbarrow, bring it out back. It's laborious. There's no other way around that, and it just sucks. I just did not want to do this here. And then when I got the bill for these guys, like, oh, I forgot I have 2 teenage boys. Why didn't stupid. And so I'm like, oh, it's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back. But it's not 1 step forward. It's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Because every month you pay your mortgage payment, you're paying down equity, or you're paying down you're adding to your equity. Just keep that in mind, dude. Look, this is a pep talk from me, probably more than you. Every month you're paying down your mortgage, you're building equity, all right? Just that's a fact. So even if you're not paying, like I really want to have my mortgage paid off in 2 years. No way it's going to be. There's no way it's going to be, man. And part of the reason is because we spent a lot of money as back deck. We put a lot of money into the pool. You know what I'm saying? It's not, where that money, if I didn't use that back deck or the pool, the mortgage would be paid off. But now we got back deck and a pool, and the mortgage is not paid off. Is that a trade-off? Frankly, no, I don't think so. I'd rather have no mortgage. But I got family and my wife and my kids, and I like the pool. And I love the back deck. I love it. But I also hate having a mortgage. But I'm not the only person here. But every month I pay my mortgage payment. That's about $2,000 a month is for my principal is going down. And it's going to take some time, but I'm only 52 years old. 57 right now. When I hit 57, the idea would be have no mortgage payment. And then the kids are out of the house, and all of a sudden you're like, we don't need to spend that much. I'll be damned if I spend $3,000 on landscape. And that's on top of the landscaping Sharon already did with all the rocks we got from Lowe's and Home Depot. Last weekend I was freaking out there like a crazy man doing landscaping, digging. And because like I said, my wife only wants me for my Lowe's 10% discount and my ability to dig holes, because she knows I was a grunt in the infantry, so I can dig ditches and dig foxholes, which means I can plant stuff. So I was planting, putting rocks. And we do a lot of this stuff ourselves, you know what I'm saying? We pressure wash ourselves. But I just didn't feel like doing the freaking landscape. And then I got the bills, I go, oh. But anyways, it is one step forward, two steps back. It seems like it, but it's really not, man. Because we're not adding to the debt. We're paying it down, just not to the extent I was wanting to. And my man Stevie here, he said the same thing. He's like, it just, we moved 29 times. We've owned a small business. We got, you just don't know. And then we wake up one day and you're like, oh, it's all good. So hang in there. It's going to be okay. I love your thoughts. We'll see you.